Hey guys, and welcome to all the Warships with Voulezvous. In today's replay we'll be featuring the Tier 7 Premium Atlanta Cruiser. So, before we jump into the gameplay, the first thing I wanted to tell you about is the competition I'm running for the second week of the Grand Naval Battles event the Wargaming staff has organized for us. It is really easy for you guys to win some extra diamonds if you like to get them. If you want to know all the details for how I'm running this contest, there is a link popping up in the top right corner of this video, and the link will lead you to a very short video in which I incidentally managed to get 14 Citadel hits in a Budyonny class cruiser within less than a minute, and this video plays in the background, and I'm explaining the rules of the contest right there. So hit that link if you'd like to see this video and find out how to get your hands on those diamonds. And now let's get back to the Atlanta gameplay. As you can see from the team list, this is a predominantly tier 6 match, therefore I'm the highest tier. There's only 4 tier 7 ships in the whole game. So I don't really expect too much trouble in terms of getting a good result in this match. Now, it's been a while since the last time I sailed the Atlanta, and I thought I would just refresh myself a little bit. And I really do love sailing this ship. It's a very, very acquired taste for many players, and I do understand why, because of how easy it is to kill its turrets and citadel the ship. So, you know, I do understand it. But you see in the chat right now, there's a player who's complaining about the so-called pay-to-win ships, premium ships, and I get it. I mean, everybody likes to complain a little bit, but he is sailing a tier 7 Miyoko and he is worried about 3 tier 5 Texas battleships. I mean, seriously, this is not... He should be going like, I'm gonna have myself some premium ships for dinner tonight, and he's complaining about it as if he wouldn't be able to handle them. But that's just me. Maybe it's just me being a little bit salty, but seriously, really, I mean, if you want to complain, just have a decent enough reason to do so, okay? So, enough of rants, and let's get to the battle. So, I'm starting the southern side of the map, and the closest cap is the sea cap, and since it is a little bit barren in terms of my own teammates in this area, it seems that a cruiser is going towards the D. I have a friendly destroyer moving in on sea as well. I decide to move in on sea and just see what happens. Given that I am a tier 7 ship and most of the ships on the enemy team are tier 5s and tier 6s, I really don't expect too much trouble, so I'm just, moving straight in. And I see that the Congo is in range just now, but the Atlanta pops in to the spotting range right now, so I switch targets and decide to attack the Atlanta because the Atlanta will be a much bigger threat to my Hatsuharu than the Congo will. So I just want to make sure that the Hatsuharu has got a good chance to actually cap the cap. So you may have noticed, again, I am not using the situational awareness back on this ship, so I don't know if I'm spotted. I mean, I do kind of know, but I'm not being informed about it. And I do use the incoming fire alert pack, which allows me to avoid most of the fire and hopefully preserve the life of my turrets for as long as possible. So I opened up on the Atlanta and managed to chip away about half of its health and make the Atlanta turn away. And therefore I gave the Hatsuharu a chance to actually survive and cap the cap. So the Hatsu is hiding behind the islands. He was just under an aerial attack from the torpedo bombers and dive bombers from the carrier. So I had to take some time to turn around, and I'm coming back, and now he's asking for help. So I'm just confirming that I'm on my way. And I see the Atlanta got itself stuck on an island, which is very unfortunate for this ship. It's under fire from a couple of my allies, and I am preparing to shoot. Kinda blind firing here, but before my shells arrive, the Atlanta is already dead. So quickly switch targets to the tier 6 New Mexico. Open up on it. Take the appropriate lead. As you know, the Atlanta is notorious for the lead that you have to take. The shell travel arc is humongous, so you really need to get a pretty decent lead on it in order to hit in targets. But even my first salvo arrives on target and actually sets the New Mexico on fire, which is really good. And by the time my third salvo arrives, the New Mexico is already behind the island. And I open up on the Muskie now, and this is a horrible decision on the side of the Muskie to move in on a cap where he knew there was an Atlanta. It's his own fault. I mean, it's just, you know, you don't mess with an Atlanta if you're a destroyer, especially a Japanese destroyer with slightly weaker gunship capabilities. So the Muskie dies very quickly, and now the next target is the New York, and just look how easy it is for me and the Cleveland to set it on fire and just reduce it to smithereens. Again, very mindful of the fact that I am sailing another fragile ship, so I turn into this island here so that the New York has very little chance to actually get some decent accurate shots on me. And this is one of the lessons I would like you to take away with this video. I switch targets very often. I'm not staying with the target until I kill it. I believe this is not the job of the Atlanta. You are the Witherer champion. You are here to set things on fire, kill destroyers if you spot them, and use terrain to your advantage. The high shell travel arc is maybe annoying a little bit when you want to lead a target that is far away from you, but it also gives you a very unique opportunity to shoot over islands and use the terrain to your advantage. So, looking at the map now, the C cap is taken and it looks like there isn't really anything that can threaten it straight away. The New Mexico could turn around, but it's still quite far away, so I decided to move in on B. And I wanted to attack that cruiser, but somebody took it away already, so the next target that shows up is the New York. And as I said a second ago, I want to use terrain to my advantage, so I'm positioning myself so that those little islands to the right of my ship are going to be between me and the New York, so that they provide a little bit of cover. And hopefully he will try to focus the Cleveland, who is much more bolder than I am, moving in on B directly. And as soon as I have a decent hit chance, I open up on the New York. The New York is almost stationary, and I'm getting already some hits, and just making sure that I get the right lead. And just, you can see here how easy it is to shoot over islands. And same here, I'm gonna be doing a little bit of blind firing here. I took the lead right now, and I sort of know what speed New York is moving at. I'm still continuing shooting. It's really easy to load those shells over the island, and you know, the shells that hit do give me some damage. You know, 1,000 here, 1,500 there. But you know, the general goal when sailing the Atlanta is to set things on fire and do as much fire damage as possible. One exception that I like to add here is the fact that the Atlanta's AP shells are devastating. If you happen to find yourself really close, let's say up to 7-8 kilometers away from a cruiser's broadside, then absolutely switch to AP and you will decimate any cruiser that will be foolish enough to actually present a broadside to an Atlanta. And within 1 or 2 salvos you will be able to kill the ship. So as you saw now, I didn't have that much trouble killing that New York. Obviously the Cleveland was helping me a little. So now we've got the B cap. I've already managed to secure myself 65,000 damage that we saw, plus 7.5, so there will be some fire damage in this as well. And I opened up on that Russian cruiser, but before I managed to actually figure out the right lead, the Cleveland picked it off, so that's good, and now I can look for other targets. So a quick look at the map. I definitely do not want to go north. If I would go north right now, I would expose myself to crossfire from the cruiser in the north and those two battleships closer to the sea cap. So I decided to move in on the Congo, which is threatening our carrier. It seems that the carrier is aware of the threat and he's moving away, so all I need to do right now is to get the Congo's attention and just divert his fire from the carrier. So I open up on it, and as I said at the beginning of the video, I don't get the situational awareness notification, but I know I am being spotted because the Congo returns fire. And just look how much damage my shells are doing. 3,000 on the first volleys, another 3,000 on the second one. I've already got one fire going on the Congo, which is really good. And that's all I want. I just want to get the Congo to start shooting me instead of the carrier and give the carrier a chance to actually run away. It looks like the carrier is defending itself as well. He's already got some torpedo bombers out there. So I keep shelling the Congo, but now I'm realizing that I'm sitting out of my gun range, so I start turning around, and that's another incoming fire alert coming up, and I just turn a little bit and avoid all those shells. And one more, and this is too soon for the Congo I was engaging, which means that there is another target that is engaging me, and you can see the shells incoming right now. So I continued my turn and basically made sure that the second Congo that just entered the engagement doesn't have a clear shot on me. So what I'm doing right now is I'm back to engaging the first Congo that I started engaging, and I'm sailing straight at those little islands up ahead of me. If you see, I hope that they will provide enough cover for me for the other Congo to lose some time trying to position itself to be able to attack me. So that's exactly what I'm doing right now. The other Congo doesn't have any other targets, so he will be trying to clear this island as quickly as possible. So I'm just making sure while engaging this first Congo that the islands are protecting me. Yet another fire on the first Congo. There was some fire incoming from it, so I had to turn in a little bit to avoid it. Which will expose me to the second Congo right now, and I will get a pretty massive hit. You can see the incoming icon popping up, and that's me getting that hit right now. That must have been at least one Citadel and some other hits, so that hurt. But by this time, the first Congo is already dead, and I'm hiding behind the island again. So the next threat for me is the Congo that is only about 6.6 kilometers away, and I'm on really low health. Just one Citadel hit and I'm gone. So again, what I'm trying to do here is to keep the island between me and the Congo and figure out what I want to do. I could really use somebody to spot the battleship for me, and that's why I asked for it in the chat. I'm hoping that the CV will be willing to help, but I know carrier play, and I know how busy carriers can be, so I can't really count on him helping me. So I'm kind of guesstimating that the Congo will continue on its course and kind of move out from behind the right side of the island, so I want to move in between here. And now the Congo is spotted, the carrier's fighter planes must have spotted it, so I'm trying to guesstimate the Congo's position and do some blind firing from behind the islands again. See, this again is the advantage of the Atlanta, and you have to use this if you want to win. And now I realize that the Congo has made a big mistake and he actually strayed into my torpedo range. So again, I'm trying to hide myself behind the island, but also prepare myself for a torpedo launch. So I'm speeding up, the torpedoes are away, and now I'm thinking if he's gonna turn into those torpedoes to avoid them, he will actually pop up right there, just where you see right now. So if I manage to turn around really quickly, I will be able to launch another torpedo spread in his direction, maybe kill him. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm just, trying to turn my ship around as quickly as possible. And now the Congo makes a huge mistake. He decides to shoot me with a full broadside, and only the first two turrets actually managed to hit. The other shells just hit the island, and this is what saves my life and allows me to launch the second torpedo spread and just assassinate the Congo from close range. So, looking at the map and the general situation, we are clearly winning. We're only about 62 points away from winning this game. I've managed to deal 120,000 of visible damage plus the fire damage, which I'm sure I have accumulated as well with 13 fires and 4 kills. But just look at how many hits I managed to land on targets. 357 hits. This is a rather normal result for an Atlanta. With this rate of fire, it's just a matter of you having a pretty decent feeling for the lead, and you will be raking in hit after a hit after a hit. And as I said at the beginning, this ship is all about damage over time, fire damage, possibly flooding damage if you happen to actually find yourself in a situation I did, similar to the one I just did. But yeah, fire damage is your friend, and this is exactly how you want to sail this ship. So 998 points, 1000, and that's the game over. So let's move on to the post-game stats. Just to give you an idea of what kind of premium ship the Atlanta is. So I managed to get myself the high caliber award with the Atlanta. As I mentioned a second ago, 357 hits on target, 4 torpedo hits, which is rather unusual for an Atlanta. The torpedoes have got a rather short range. 4 ships destroyed and 13 fires set. This game gave me 593,000 of profit and just under 7,000 of experience. That is including some sort of a daily bonus, I guess. And obviously the game gave me the first place on the team with just under 2,300 of base experience. So guys, the total damage in this game came up to 155,000 and change. But I really want you to pay attention to the fact that I managed to shoot just under 900 shells in this game, and that gave me just over 90,000 of damage dealt, which means on the average every shell fired gave me about 100 damage, which is not much on its own, but the sheer rate of fire of this ship makes it quite a deadly ship if you manage to survive for long enough. So your priority here is to be smart, survive for as long as possible, and also count on damage over time through fire, of which you will be starting quite a lot. Moving on to the profits tab, the Atlanta is a premium ship, and it shows in the profits you can get from a good game. I also usually use the extra profits flag on my premium ships just to boost the profits even more, and therefore this took the profits to 494,000. I also managed to finish one of the missions which managed to lift the total profits in this game to 562,000 after all the repairs and refits. So it's a pretty decent result for a 15-minute game. So guys, the next thing I would like to talk about is my consumable, module and captain pack choice for this ship. So if you would like to know this, just stay tuned. Okay guys, let's start with the consumables, and I use the premium repair kit and just the standard defensive fire. Another option here is a hydroacoustic surge, which is a possibility if you feel like you want to hunt destroyers more than provide cover for your battleships. Moving on to the modules, the main battery modification one is a must. For the second one, I chose the gunfire control system modification 1. For the third one, I used the propulsion modification 1. And for the last one, I decided to use the steering gears modification 2 just to make the Atlanta a little bit more agile. And moving on to the captain's perks. This is a captain from my Cleveland, I believe, and my choice of perks is the following: basic firing training, basics of survivability. I skipped the situational awareness, but if I get that extra star, I will most likely add it to my captain. Expert marksman to make the turrets turn even faster. Incoming fire alert, I find that perk very useful for me. Also vigilance, I don't need the superintendent on this ship, I don't use the consumables that often. And also the advanced firing training perk, which gives me a 20% boost to my range. Another option here would be the demolition expert, but that would come at the cost of the range, so it's up to you to decide which one you would prefer better. You know, if your aim is not that great, maybe this demolition expert perk might be a better option for you. So guys, I hope that you enjoyed watching this video, and if you did, you may be interested in watching another one of mine, where I review and show you the gameplay for the brand new upcoming Russian premium cruiser, the Molotov. The link to this video should be popping up in the top right corner right now. And also, if you did like this video, please do give it a like down below. It definitely motivates me to come up with new things for the channel. And also, if you haven't done so yet, I do recommend that you hit the subscribe button if you'd like to see more of my materials. So for now, I say thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the open seas.